There comes a quiet moment in life, usually after 60, when you realize something no one warned you about. The phone stops ringing as often. The visits become rare. Conversations feel rushed. And the people you once sacrificed everything for now have their own lives. This realization doesn't arrive loudly. It arrives in silence. You sit alone one evening and ask yourself, if something happens to me, who will really be there? Most people grow old believing family will always be their safety net. That blood guarantees presence. That love guarantees care. But life doesn't work on promises. It works on priorities. Children grow busy. Relationships change. Emotional bonds weaken with time, distance, and modern life. And this video is not about blaming family. It's about waking up, because once you cross 60, survival, peace, and dignity depend on something deeper than family expectations. This video is about the real support systems that never abandon you, the ones that quietly protect your health, your sanity, and your self-respect when the world moves on. If you are over 50, this video will prepare you. If you are over 60, this video will protect you. If you are younger, this video will save your future. So before we go deeper, like this video so it reaches someone who needs to hear this truth. Subscribe, because what you learn here might matter more than money later in life. Now listen carefully, because after 60, family is not your most reliable support. These are: 1. Your health, not anyone's sympathy. After the age of 60, something changes quietly but permanently. Health stops being a background condition and becomes the main currency of life. Not money, not relationships, not love, health. Because when your body works, life still listens to you. And when it doesn't, the world slowly turns its back, not out of cruelty, but out of limitation. No one can suffer inside your body for you. You may be surrounded by people who care, who worry, who pray for you, but when your heart struggles to climb a flight of stairs, when your knees ache just from standing, when your mind feels foggy and tired before the day even begins, it is you who carries that weight alone. Sympathy sits outside the body. Pain lives inside it. This is why after 60, health is no longer optional. It is freedom. A strong heart means you can walk without fear. Mobile joints mean you can rise from a chair without needing a hand. A clear mind means you can make decisions, protect yourself, and stay emotionally independent. These are not luxuries. They are the pillars of dignity. Many people believe family will always step in. And yes, family may help, but help slowly changes the relationship. What begins as care can quietly turn into control. Decisions are made for you. Schedules are set without asking. Your voice becomes softer in your own life. Not because your family is bad, but because dependence changes dynamics. Watch closely, and you'll see it everywhere. Two people of the same age. One walks every morning, eats simply, sleeps on time, goes for regular checkups. The other says, at this age, what's the point? One lives freely. The other waits. Waits for reminders. Waits for assistance. Waits for permission. Aging didn't break them, neglect did. Health investments don't look dramatic. They look boring. A daily walk when you'd rather sit. Drinking water instead of another cup of tea. Sleeping on time while others stay awake. Saying no to excess. Going to the doctor before pain becomes a crisis. These small choices quietly decide whether you will live independently or slowly disappear into dependency. And here is the painful truth most people avoid. When you become dependent, the way people treat you changes. Conversations shorten. Patience thins. Care continues, but enthusiasm fades. Not because you are unloved, but because constant dependence drains emotional energy. This is why self-care after 60 is not selfish. It is kindness to yourself and to others. Health gives you the power to choose, to go where you want, to live how you want, to say yes and no on your own terms. Without it, even love begins to feel heavy. Even help feels humiliating. Even family feels distant. If you protect your health, you protect your freedom. If you protect your freedom, you protect your dignity. And if you protect your dignity, Old age becomes strength, not surrender. After 60, don't chase sympathy, build strength. Because when your body stands strong, life still listens. 2. Your savings and financial control. After the age of 60, money stops being about comfort and starts being about control. Not luxury, not status, control. Because love cannot pay hospital bills, and good intentions cannot pay rent. Smiles don't cover emergencies. Promises don't work at the pharmacy counter. When life gets expensive, and old age always does, cash becomes protection. Many people grow up believing family will step in when needed, but what they don't understand is this. Help always comes with timing, conditions, and moods. Someone else decides when to help, how much to help, and how long they can tolerate helping. The moment you depend financially on another person, your life slowly stops being fully yours. Watch what happens when an elderly person has no financial control. Every decision turns into a request. A doctor visit requires approval. A purchase becomes an explanation. Even basic needs begin to feel like favors. You start measuring your words. You stop expressing opinions. You avoid conflict not because you're wrong, but because you can't afford to be right. This is where dignity quietly bleeds. Financial independence after 60 does not mean being rich. It means not being trapped. Even a modest pension, a fixed deposit, rental income, or savings put aside long ago can create an invisible shield. That shield gives you something priceless: choice. You choose when to go to the doctor. You choose where to live. You choose how to spend your day. And most importantly, you choose silence when manipulation tries to enter your life. Because dependence invites emotional pressure, subtle comments, guilt, reminders of favors. After all we do for you. These words don't always come from cruelty, they come from power imbalance. And power imbalance destroys respect faster than anger ever could. Look around and you'll see it clearly. 2 elders, same age, same health. One has control over their finances, the other doesn't. One speaks freely, the other apologizes often. One is consulted, the other is informed. The difference is not love, it is leverage. Money gives you the ability to say no without fear. No to mistreatment, no to disrespect, no to being moved, managed, or controlled like an inconvenience. When you don't need to ask, your presence changes, your posture changes, your voice changes. And people feel it even if they never say it out loud. This is why financial planning is not greed. It is self-respect delayed. It is the courage to protect your future self when today still gives you the chance. Because after 60, the world does not slow down for you, it charges interest. When you have your own financial footing, relationships stay cleaner. Help becomes optional, not survival. Love remains love, not obligation. And respect stays intact. After 60, don't aim to be rich. Aim to be uncontrolled. Because the moment you don't need to beg, the world treats you differently. 3. Your daily routine and discipline. After 60, loneliness does not arrive as a dramatic event. It arrives quietly, almost politely. It shows up in long mornings with nothing scheduled, in afternoons that stretch endlessly, in evenings where the television talks more than people do. And slowly, without pain or warning, loneliness begins to damage the body more than illness ever could. This is why routine becomes survival. A strong daily routine is not about being busy. It is about being anchored. When you wake up knowing exactly what you will do, your mind feels needed. Your body feels used. Your day has structure, and structure protects the soul. Without it, time turns against you. Minutes feel heavier. Hours feel empty. Days blur together until life starts to feel optional. People often say, "I'll rest now. I've earned it." But endless rest is not rest, it is erosion. When there is no reason to get up at a certain time, no place to be, no habit waiting for you, the mind starts to turn inward. It replays regrets. It magnifies fears. It creates problems where none exist. This is how emotional decay begins silently, invisibly. Look closely, and you'll notice something powerful. People who age well don't wait for visitors. They don't sit by the phone hoping it will ring. They create reasons to wake up. A morning walk, a fixed breakfast time, a newspaper ritual, a prayer, a garden to tend, a notebook to write in. Small actions but done every day. They hold life together. Compare two elders again. One wakes up and waits. Waits for a call, waits for company, waits for something to happen. The other wakes up and moves. Moves the body, moves the mind. Moves through the day with intention. One feels forgotten. The other feels engaged. The difference is not love, it is discipline. Routine keeps the mind active even when the world grows quieter. It gives the brain signals of relevance. It says, you are still needed. And that message slows aging more than medicine ever could. Purpose sharpens memory. Movement keeps joints alive. Consistency calms anxiety. Chaos accelerates decline. And here is the hardest truth. When your routine disappears, people don't replace it. Visits are occasional. Calls are short. Everyone has their own lives. But your routine stays every day. Loyal. Silent. Waiting. Your routine becomes your companion when people are busy. It listens without judging. It holds you when emotions wobble. It keeps you standing when loneliness tries to sit on your chest. After 60, don't wait for life to knock. Design your days so life has no choice but to enter. Because people who wake up with purpose don't just live longer, they live fully, even in silence. 4. Your inner strength and acceptance. After 60, the greatest battles are no longer physical, they are emotional. And this is where many people suffer the most. Not because life is cruel, but because expectations refuse to die. The expectation that someone should call, the expectation that someone should visit, the expectation that love should look the same as it once did. These expectations don't scream, they quietly poison peace. This is why, after 60, emotional expectations become dangerous. When you expect attention, every silence feels personal. When you expect presence, every absence feels like rejection. When you expect to be prioritized, reality feels like abandonment. And slowly, without realizing it, you begin to measure your worth by how much others show up. That measurement is unfair and deeply damaging. Look closely and you'll notice a painful pattern. Two people grow old under the same roof, in the same family, in the same circumstances. One is calm, the other is constantly hurt. The difference is not how much love they receive, it is how much they expect. One accepts the rhythm of modern life. The other fights it every day. One adapts, the other resists. And resistance creates suffering. Acceptance is often misunderstood as giving up. It is not. Acceptance is clarity. It is seeing life as it is, not as it used to be or as you wish it would be. It is understanding that people change, priorities shift, and time rearranges relationships not because you are unimportant, but because life keeps moving forward. Those who accept reality live peacefully because they stop negotiating with the past. They don't replay old roles in their head. They don't demand yesterday's attention in today's world. They let go, and letting go frees energy that pain was consuming. Those who demand attention suffer silently. They smile on the outside but ache inside. They say, "It's okay," while feeling forgotten. They wait, hope, and replay disappointments in their mind. This suffering is invisible to others but devastating to the self. And here is the turning point most people never reach. The moment you stop begging for presence. When you no longer wait by the phone. When you no longer feel the need to explain your loneliness. When you stop chasing people who are busy running their own lives. That moment hurts, but it heals. Because when you stop chasing, dignity returns. When you stop feeling abandoned, strength replaces sadness. When you stop demanding, you stop being disappointed. And slowly, something unexpected happens. Peace moves in. Inner strength after 60 is the ability to sit with yourself without feeling empty, to enjoy silence without interpreting it as rejection, to find fulfillment without needing validation. This strength does not come from others. It comes from acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean you don't love. It means you don't suffer unnecessarily. And when acceptance settles in, pain loses its grip. Life becomes lighter. Breathing becomes easier. And old age becomes a place of calm, not constant emotional hunger. After 60, the strongest people are not those surrounded by crowds, but those who are at peace when the room is quiet. 5. A small circle, not a big family. As life moves past 60, something becomes painfully clear. Crowds don't protect you, connection does. Many people reach old age surrounded by relatives, yet feel completely alone. Birthdays are remembered on calendars, not in hearts. Conversations stay polite, not deep, and presence becomes physical, not emotional. This is why, after a certain age, a big family does not guarantee support. What truly matters is not how many people know your name, but how many know your silence. One honest friend who listens without rushing. One conversation where you don't need to explain yourself. One place where you are respected, not tolerated. That is not a small life, that is a secure one. After 60, emotional energy becomes precious, and wasting it on shallow interactions slowly drains the spirit. Quantity fades because life naturally removes excess. People grow busy, distance increases, priorities change. What remains are the relationships that were built on understanding, not obligation. A small, genuine circle survives time because it is chosen, not inherited. Look closely and you'll see it. An elder with many relatives, but no one to talk to deeply. Another with one or two trusted people who truly show up. One feels invisible, the other feels seen. The difference is not luck, it is connection quality. Large families often carry unspoken expectations, roles, old conflicts, emotional history. These don't disappear with age, they harden. Conversations become careful, words are filtered. Silence becomes safer than honesty. But a small circle built on mutual respect allows truth. And truth is oxygen for the aging soul. A genuine circle does not need daily contact. It needs trust. Knowing that when you speak, you will be heard. Knowing that when you are quiet, you will still be understood. That kind of bond protects mental health better than constant company. After 60, support is not about who will come if you call everyone, it's about who will come without being asked. And that number is almost always small. This is not loneliness. This is refinement. When you stop chasing large groups, you protect your peace. When you stop trying to be important to many, you become deeply valued by a few. And those few become your emotional anchors. One honest friend, one meaningful conversation, one place where you are respected. That is enough. Because at this stage of life, quality doesn't just remain, it saves you. 6. Your self-respect. After 60, there is one thing more fragile than health, money, or relationships: self-respect. And once it is given away, it is almost never returned. Many elders don't lose dignity suddenly. They surrender it slowly, in the name of peace, help, or fear of being alone. And each small compromise seems harmless until the day they realize they are no longer treated as a person, but as a responsibility. This is why you must never trade dignity for care. The moment you accept disrespect to receive help, the relationship changes. What was once kindness turns into duty. What was once support turns into burden. And burden breeds resentment quietly at first, then openly. No one says it out loud, but everyone feels it. And you feel it most of all. Watch what happens when self-respect fades. An elder starts apologizing for existing. They ask permission for basic needs. They tolerate sharp words because they fear abandonment. They silence their opinions to avoid conflict. Slowly, their voice shrinks. And when a person stops standing tall emotionally, the world instinctively leans over them. Strong elders understand something painful but powerful. Boundaries are protection, not rejection. Saying no is not ingratitude. Having preferences is not arrogance. Expecting respect is not entitlement. It is self-preservation. Look at two elders again. One allows constant interference, accepts humiliation for help, and avoids asserting themselves. The other speaks calmly but firmly. They don't argue, they state. They don't beg, they choose. One is managed. The other is respected. The difference is not age or health. It is self-respect. People value those who value themselves. This is not cruelty, it is human psychology. When someone maintains boundaries, others sense strength. When someone abandons them, others sense weakness. And weakness invites control, even from well-meaning people. Self-respect does not mean pushing people away. It means choosing how close they can come. It means refusing care that costs your dignity. It means accepting help without surrendering authority over your life. That balance is rare and powerful. Strong elders are not loud, they are clear. They do not demand attention. They command it quietly by how they carry themselves. Their presence says, "I may need help, but I am not helpless." And that message changes everything. After 60, your body may slow down, but your standards should not. Protect your boundaries. Protect your voice. Protect your self-respect. Because once dignity is lost, even love feels bitter. And when dignity is preserved, even aging feels strong. As we conclude, after 60, life doesn't end. Illusions do. And when illusions fall, truth steps in. Not everyone will stay, but the right things will. If this video made you think, share it with someone who needs this truth before it's too late.